Welcome to The Mountain Is You, a journey into transforming self-sabotage into self-mastery. Life, much like nature, often presents us with challenges that seem insurmountable. But what if these obstacles are not just barriers but invitations to grow? In this video, we'll explore how our greatest struggles can become the very catalysts for our transformation. Whether you're facing addiction, relationship issues, or a vague sense of dissatisfaction, the mountain before you is not just an external challenge, it's an internal call to change. Let's begin this journey together and discover how to climb your own mountain. Just as forest fires clear the way for new growth, our minds periodically go through episodes of positive disintegration. These moments, though uncomfortable, are essential for releasing outdated self-concepts and making space for renewal. Nature thrives at its edges where different climates meet, and so do we when we step out of our comfort zones. When coping mechanisms no longer serve us, it can feel like hitting rock bottom. But this breakdown is often the tipping point before a breakthrough. Remember, the mountain you face is both a challenge and an opportunity for profound transformation. Mountains have long been metaphors for spiritual awakenings and personal growth. Your mountain arises from conflicting needs within you, the conscious desires and the unconscious fears. It's not just about overcoming external obstacles but reconciling the parts of yourself that are at odds. The objective of being human is to grow, and this is reflected in every part of life. Our ability to feel deeply and expand inwardly is limitless, if we're willing to see our problems as catalysts for change. The mountain is not a sign of failure, but of potential waiting to be realized. Growth is only possible because of imperfection. If everything were uniform, nothing could evolve. The fact that you are imperfect is not a sign of failure, but a sign that you have more potential within you. Your mountain might be a specific challenge, addiction, relationships, money, or a vague sense of anxiety or low self-esteem. Often the mountain is less about an external problem and more about an unstable foundation within us. Recognizing this is the first step toward transformation. When problems are chronic, we're often facing the reality of ourselves, not just life's hardships. Years of tiny traumas and coping mechanisms accumulate, creating an unstable foundation. Your mountain is the block between you and the life you want. Facing it is the only path to freedom and becoming who you're meant to be. The journey begins when a trigger reveals your wound, and your wound points you toward your path. This is the entryway to the breakthrough you've been waiting for. To climb your mountain, you must release your old self into the fire of your vision. Mourn the loss of who you were and envision your future self, the hero who will lead you forward. This task is monumental, requiring agility, resilience, and self-understanding. True change means never being the same again. The mountain before you is your calling, your purpose, and your path. One day the mountain will be behind you, but who you become in the process will stay with you always. Nothing holds you back more than yourself. If there's a persistent gap between where you are and where you want to be, self-sabotage is likely at work. On the surface, self-sabotage seems like self-hatred or lack of willpower. In reality, it's the presence of an unconscious need being fulfilled by self-sabotaging behavior. Overcoming it requires deep psychological excavation, pinpointing trauma, releasing emotions, finding healthier ways to meet needs, and developing emotional intelligence and resilience. Self-sabotage isn't always obvious at first. Take Carl Jung, who developed fainting spells as a child to avoid school, a manifestation of his unconscious desire to escape discomfort. For many, fears and attachments are symptoms of deeper issues for which we lack better coping mechanisms. Self-sabotage is a way to cope when we refuse to consciously meet our innermost needs, often because we doubt our ability to handle them. Self-sabotage is often just a maladaptive coping mechanism. We give ourselves temporary relief without addressing the real need. Whether it's sabotaging relationships, professional success, or our healing journey, these behaviors are ways to avoid facing uncomfortable emotions. But coping is not the same as solving the problem. True healing requires us to face our needs directly and find healthier ways to meet them. Many self-sabotaging behaviors stem from irrational fears, beliefs about ourselves or the world that go unexamined. These fears often become attachments, projected onto unlikely scenarios because they feel safer to worry about than the real issues. For example, fear of being a passenger in a car might actually be about loss of control. If we don't address the real fear, we remain stuck, trying to fix surface problems that never resolve the core issue. Self-sabotage is often a sign that your inner narrative is outdated or limiting. Our self-concept is built from the beliefs of those around us and our own experiences. When we sabotage ourselves, it's often because we have negative associations with achieving our goals. For example, if you believe that wealthy people are bad, you may unconsciously resist financial success. Challenging and updating these beliefs is essential for growth. What you believe about your life becomes your reality. Limiting beliefs can keep you stuck in patterns that no longer serve you. Maybe you've always believed you could only earn a certain amount or that you're inherently anxious. These beliefs may have been adopted to keep you safe, but they also limit your potential. To heal, you must become conscious of negative beliefs and shift to a mindset that serves you. To truly change, you must stop being in denial about your personal state of affairs. Endless affirmations can't replace honest self-assessment. The first step in healing is taking full accountability, stating the problem plainly and deciding to change. Write down everything you're unhappy with, every problem you face. Clarity is the foundation for transformation. From here, you can choose to make peace or commit to change. Change begins right where you are, even if you're at rock bottom. Rock bottom is often the turning point because it's when you finally decide you never want to feel this way again. This declaration becomes the foundation for everything that follows. When you're truly fed up, you set out on a journey of self-awareness and growth, radically reinventing who you are. We don't reach a breaking point because of one or two bad days. It happens when our coping mechanisms spiral out of control and we can no longer hide from our feelings. At this point, we realize that the common denominator in all our problems is ourselves. This reckoning is painful but necessary. Most people only change when not changing becomes the less comfortable option. True change means your new life will cost you your old one. It may cost you your comfort zone, relationships, and even your sense of direction. But what you lose is only what was built for a person you no longer are. Remaining attached to your old life is the final act of self-sabotage. Releasing it is the first step toward real change and growth. When you do things that move your life forward, you call them skills. When they hold you back, you call them self-sabotage. Both are habits. One serves you, the other doesn't. Sometimes we settle for what we're handed because we don't know we can ask for more. But most self-sabotaging behaviors are designed by your subconscious to meet unfulfilled needs or displaced emotions. Overcoming self-sabotage isn't about overriding your impulses but understanding why they exist. Self-sabotage is not about punishing yourself, it's about protecting yourself. When you have two conflicting desires, one conscious, one unconscious, you get stuck. The real question is, what need is your self-sabotage fulfilling? Understanding this is the key to moving forward. Self-sabotage can take many forms. It might look like resistance to new projects, hitting your upper limit of happiness, constantly uprooting your life, or perfectionism. These behaviors are often ways to avoid discomfort or vulnerability. Recognizing these patterns is the first step to breaking free from them and moving toward self-mastery. Resistance shows up when you have something new and important to do but can't bring yourself to start. It's not the same as procrastination or indifference. Resistance is your mind's way of slowing down to ensure it's safe to get attached to something new. To release resistance, refocus on what you want and why you want it. Step back into the work when you feel inspired. Everyone has a tolerance for happiness, a baseline they revert to. When you surpass your upper limit, you may unconsciously sabotage your progress to return to what feels familiar. This can manifest as physical symptoms or emotional resistance. The solution is to slowly acclimate yourself to your new normal, gradually shifting your baseline to a higher standard. Uprooting happens when you constantly seek fresh starts, jumping from relationship to relationship or job to job. This pattern prevents you from blossoming, keeping you stuck in the process of beginning but never finishing. Healing from uprooting requires recognizing the pattern, gaining clarity on what you truly want, and building healthy attachments. Perfectionism isn't about wanting everything to be right, it's about avoiding vulnerability and failure. When you expect perfection, you avoid the work required to actually improve. The antidote is to focus on progress, not perfection. Show up, try, and allow yourself to learn from mistakes. Over time, this leads to mastery and fulfillment. Limited emotional processing skills can stunt your growth. Avoiding uncomfortable emotions means avoiding the very risks and actions that could change your life. Healthy emotional processing involves understanding what happened, validating your feelings, and determining a course correction. This allows you to move forward with clarity and resilience. Your life is measured by outcomes, not intentions. When you're in a pattern of self-sabotage, you may use excuses to feel momentarily satisfied, replacing real accomplishment. To break this cycle, start measuring your outcomes and focus on doing at least one productive thing each day. Stop accepting your own excuses and you'll see progress quickly. Leaving your life and spaces in disarray is often a way to create distractions and chaos that serve an unconscious purpose. A clean, organized space is essential for thriving. When everything is in order, you're faced with the real work of becoming who you want to be. Start small, organize one area at a time, and gradually build routines that support your growth. Sometimes, your dreams are inherited from others or based on outdated ambitions. Fighting to want something you no longer desire leaves you empty. Self-sabotage can signal that you're not on the right path. Be willing to accept that your success story may look different than you once imagined. Letting go creates space for what's truly right for you. Judging others for their success or choices sets up barriers to your own. If you associate success with being disliked, you'll resist achieving it yourself. Practice non-judgment and compassion. When you celebrate others' achievements, you open yourself up to receiving success as well. Pride often keeps us stuck in unhealthy situations because we care more about appearances than reality. To overcome pride, see yourself honestly, as someone learning and growing, not someone who needs to appear perfect. Admitting mistakes and asking for help opens you up to growth and deeper respect from others. Many people feel guilty for having more than they need, especially in a world filled with suffering. This guilt can lead to self-sabotage like reckless spending or neglecting opportunities. Remember, success is a tool. It allows you to help others and create positive change. Embrace your achievements and use them for good. Fear of failure often prevents us from even trying. This fear can also manifest as constant worry about losing what we have. Catastrophic thoughts are attempts to shield ourselves from loss, but failure is inevitable. What matters is failing for the right reasons, because you're trying, not because you're avoiding responsibility. Downplaying your achievements is a way to avoid feeling threatened by your own success or making others uncomfortable. But this habit keeps you from fully embracing your progress. Instead, acknowledge your hard work and be proud of your journey. Progress is ongoing. Each achievement equips you for future growth. Unhealthy habits are the most common way people sabotage their own success. Whether it's neglecting health, avoiding professional changes, or resisting growth, these habits keep you from reaching your goals. The key is to define health and success on your own terms and gradually build habits that support your unique needs and lifestyle. Being constantly busy is often a way to distract yourself from what's really wrong. Busyness can make you feel important, but it also overwhelms you and prevents real progress. Streamline your tasks, prioritize what matters, and get comfortable with simplicity. True productivity comes from focus, not chaos. The people you spend time with shape your future. Spending time with those who stress you out or make you feel insecure is a form of self-sabotage. Build a circle of supportive, inspiring people who share your values and goals. Over time, these relationships will energize and uplift you. Preoccupying yourself with irrational fears or unlikely scenarios is another form of self-sabotage. These fears are often placeholders for deeper, valid concerns. Instead of trying to control worst-case scenarios, look for the underlying message your fear is sending. Addressing the real need leads to healthier coping and greater peace. Even when you understand self-sabotage intellectually, recognizing it in your own life can be difficult. The signs are often subtle and may not become obvious until they cause significant problems. Becoming aware of your patterns is the first step toward breaking the cycle and moving toward self-mastery. Awareness is the foundation of change. By observing your thoughts, behaviors, and emotional patterns, you can begin to identify where self-sabotage is at play. This self-awareness allows you to make conscious choices, rather than being driven by unconscious needs or fears. With practice, awareness becomes your greatest tool for transformation. Taking responsibility for your life means acknowledging your role in your circumstances. It's not about blame, but about empowerment. When you accept responsibility, you reclaim your power to change. This shift in mindset is essential for overcoming self-sabotage and moving toward the life you truly desire. Change requires commitment. Once you've identified the patterns holding you back, make a conscious decision to change. This commitment may require letting go of old habits, relationships, or beliefs. Remember, the journey is ongoing and each step forward brings you closer to self-mastery. Building new, supportive habits takes time and patience. Start small, focusing on one change at a time. Celebrate your progress no matter how minor. Over time, these small shifts compound, creating lasting transformation. Remember, mastery is achieved through consistent, intentional action. As you climb your mountain, resilience and agility become essential. Life will present new challenges, but your ability to adapt and recover will determine your success. Embrace setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow. With each challenge, you become stronger and more capable. Deep self-understanding is at the heart of transformation. Take time to reflect on your motivations, fears, and desires. The more you understand yourself, the better equipped you are to make choices that align with your true values and goals. Self-understanding leads to self-mastery. Envision yourself as the hero of your own story. The journey up the mountain is not just about overcoming obstacles, but about becoming the person you're meant to be. Each step you take is a testament to your courage, resilience, and commitment to growth. Embrace your journey and celebrate who you are becoming. In the end, it's not the mountain you must master, but yourself. The journey of transformation is lifelong, filled with challenges and triumphs. By facing your mountain, you unlock your true potential and create a life of fulfillment, wonder, and joy. Remember, the mountain will one day be behind you, but who you become in the process will stay with you always.